Welcome back to the Walnut. Today let's take a look at time and distance type of questions. Well, I drove my car from point A to point B. That journey took 1 hour. And that is from point A to point B, the distance is 50 kilometers. So what is my speed? So I drove from A to B, distance is 50 kilometers, I took 1 hour to complete the journey. So speed is equal to distance, that is 50 kilometers, divided by time in hour, 1 hour. So 50 by 1, that is what my speed is, 50 kilometer per hour, kmph. Well, this case, speed is what? 50 kilometer per hour. So what I have taken? The distance divided by time. So in simple way, we can say that speed is equal to what? Distance by time. This is what it is. We'll take another example. Somebody drove a distance of 180 kilometers. 180 kilometers in 3 hours. So distance is what? 180. Time 3 hours. So what is the speed? 180 is the distance and time 3. So speed would be 60 kmph. See that? And another example, a truck. A truck traveled a distance of 240 kilometers. 240 kilometers, and it took 4 hours to complete the journey. 4 hours. So truck, 240 kilometers, that's the distance. Time taken is 4. So what is the speed of the truck? 240 by 4, that is 60 kilometers per hour. So all these cases we have taken as kilometer per hour, right? But some of the cases it would be meter per second as well. So in time and distance, specifically we take it either kilometer per hour or meter per second. So let's take an example. So let's say a person walks a distance of 1200 meters. 1200 meters in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. So what is the speed? Again, speed is what? Distance by time. So here, what is the distance? Speed is equal to distance by time. So distance is what? 1200 meters. It's not kilometers, it's meters. And time, 10 minutes. So this case, when we do the calculation, always remember, either you have to do it distance in kilometers and the time in hour, or distance in meters and time in seconds. So this case, what we have 10 into, in this case we have 10 minutes. So when we convert that into seconds, that is 10 into 60 seconds. It is meters. All right, let's do the calculation. So 1200, so let's cancel the zeros. What do you get? 12 by 6, that means 2 meters per second. This is what you get. That is the speed of that person who walks. That is 2 meters, he walks 2 meters every second. However, if you want to convert that into kilometer per hour, so what we do? If it is given in meter per second, we convert that into kilometer per hour. So how do we do it? That 2 must be multiplied by 18 divided by 5. 18 by 5. So, well, the speed in meter per second would be multiplied by 18 by 5. So you'll get the speed in kilometer per hour. So what you get is 18 into 2, 36. 36 by 5. 36 by 5, when you solve it, what you get? 7.2 kilometer per hour. So the speed of this person in kilometers is 7.2 kilometer per hour. That is equivalent to 2 meters per second. All right, so let's take another example. Here is a person who walks 480 meters. 480 meters in 4 minutes. So what is the speed? Same case, right? I mean, similar situation here. Speed is equal to what? Distance divided by time. So distance is 480 meters by time in seconds. So here we have 4 minutes. So 4 into 60. So we have what? 4 into 6, 24. And this is 48. 48 by 24, what do you have? 2. 2 meter per second. And that is similar, exact same as the previous case. The speed of these two people are same, but the distance covered is different. Okay, so this case, the speed is 2 meters per second, or when you convert that into kilometers, it is going to be the same, right? S is equal to, speed is equal to 7.2. So what do? Multiply this with 18 by 5. So 7.2 kilometers per hour. So, well, the best way to deal with this kind of questions, when you do the calculation, either you have the numbers in kilometers and hour, or you can have the numbers in meters and seconds as well. Alright, so now we have calculated the speed. So just in case, if you want to find out the distance, so distance is what? Speed into time. So let's say a cycle rider, a person who's a cyclist, 15 kilometers per hour. So speed is 15 kilometers per hour, and he cycles that for like 2 hours continuously, 2 hours continuously. So 15 kilometers per hour for 2 hours. So that's pretty simple. Speed is what? 15 kilometers per hour, and time 2 hours. So well, 15 into 2, he covered a distance of 30 kilometers. Right? So you can calculate the distance. Now if you want to calculate the time, time is what? Well, distance divided by speed. Let's say a person drives a distance of 200 kilometers and his speed is 50 kilometers per hour. So what is the time? So we need to calculate the time. Time is equal to what? Distance by speed. So distance is 200 kilometers and speed is 50 kilometers per hour. So distance divided by speed, 200 by 50, what do you get? 4. So the time taken for that travel is 4 hours. So this is how we deal with those kind of questions. Alright, so now let's take a question which is slightly different from what we have done right now. Well, we have a driver, he drives his car at 30 kilometers per hour for 1 hour. Then he drives his car at 40 kilometers per hour for 2 hours. Then he drove his car 70 kilometers per hour for like 1 hour. So what's the average speed of his journey? That's the question. So in this case, what we have to do is 30 kilometers per hour, he traveled it for 1 hour. So what is the distance he have traveled? That must be 30, right? And in this case, his speed is 40 kilometers per hour. So let's write it as per hour, kmph. So, well, he drove a distance of, drove at the speed of 40 kilometers per hour for 2 hours. If it is for 2 hours, that must be 80 kilometers. So the distance he has covered is 80 kilometers in 2 hours. Now, next one. So he drove at a speed of 70 kilometers per hour for 1 hour. So he must have covered a distance of 70 kilometers. So we have to calculate the average speed. So average speed is what? Distance by time, right? Total distance by total time. So what is the total distance? 70 plus 30, 100, 100 plus 80, 180. So distance is equal to what? 180. And the time, total time taken, 1 plus 2 plus 1. So time, 4 hours. So what is the speed? Average speed is equal to 180 by 4. So 180 by 4, it's what? 45 kilometers per hour. So the average speed is 45 km per hour. Simple question, right? We'll go for one more question from this area. So let's say two cars, car A and car B, started moving from the same point. Let's say it's two families. They started together from a particular point and they're going for a tour. The family in the car A, they drive at a speed of 60 km per hour. And in second car, they drive at 80 km per hour. So they drove it on a highway, and the car B, they had a feeling like the car A is with them. So they didn't check at every minute or every half an hour, they drove it for 3 hours. So after 3 hours, they checked out, where is the other family? They realized that they are not just behind. So if that is the case, how long the car B has to wait until the car A come along with them? So they checked it out after 3 hours. So after 3 hours, what is the distance traveled by both cars? So in 3 hours, car A must have traveled a distance of, this is what, 60 km per hour. So distance would be 60 into 3, 180 kilometers. And the car B must have traveled a distance of 80 into 3 hours, right? So well, 240 kilometers. So the distance between these two cars exactly after 3 hours of journey is what? 60 kilometers. The distance between these two cars is 60 kilometers. The car B is stopped after 3 hours and they are waiting for the other car. So the other car has to cover a distance of 60 kilometers to reach where the car B is stopped. So that 60 kilometers, in order to cover that 60 kilometers, car A needs what kind of a time? It drives at a speed of 60 km per hour. So in order to cover that distance of 60 kilometers, it requires 1 more hour. So car B has to wait exact 1 hour until the car A comes along with them. Right? So this is another type of question you may have from time and distance. Of course, we'll have different varieties of, probably you must have heard of like questions related with trains and running trains and the length of the platform, length of the train, speed of the train, all those kind of things, right? So we'll come back with those kind of questions, bit more challenging questions when we meet next time. Thank you for watching.